Hey there my kings, queens, and fellow non-binary readers, and welcome back to Neri Nekoma. Today, as promised, we'll have another Tsukishima Kageyama video, and, well, today is Kageyama's birthday, so a huge, big, happy birthday to our favorite baby crow. Oh my god, I love Kageyama so much. So, yeah, you all wanted this to be Fluff, and it is, I swear, I promise, for once we don't do angst. However, some of you also said that you wish for a little bit her comfort, so there's something like that in there. Just let yourself be surprised. I hope you will like it. Feel free to tell me your thoughts in the comments, and yeah, I'm super excited to get this started. It's a bit shorter because it's just a little birthday special, but I hope you will like it. Enjoy! Kageyama yawned while sneaking into the kitchen, only half awake as he made himself a cup of green tea. There was something Tadashi had convinced him to try, and ever since sitting down with him to drink a cup on the weekends, it had become part of his routine, even when the other wasn't around. This early in the morning, he never was. Usually Shoya would be with him, chewing his ear off with something he'd heard or seen the other day, fully aware that Kageyama only half-listened and processed even less. But today, the sitter had found him still deeply asleep, sprawled out over Tsukishima's chest and drooling onto his shirt. It was kinda cute, although he admired time and time again how the smaller managed to move so much in his sleep and get into the wildest positions by the time they woke up. He let him rest, preparing for his morning run alone today. Something had kept the other awake yesterday alongside Tadashi. He had seen them hunched over a stack of papers and something that looked like crafting materials. Before he could ask, Kay had roped him into a conversation, and he didn't object, seeing as that he didn't particularly like working with paper and glue. He assumed Hinata would just join him at the gym later, was stretching in front of their house, now in running attire and with his gym bag strapped to his back. On Sundays, he'd always spend a couple of hours at least at the gym to warm up again after having rested for most of Saturday as instructed. Occasionally, him and Shoya would play a little in the yard, but a certain green-haired boyfriend of theirs was adamant about them not overdoing it. He'd have to be home before noon if he didn't want them to worry. By the time Tsukishima came back from grocery shopping to get the last things they needed for today's event, he found Hinata covered in cake batter in the kitchen, and Yamaguchi littering the coffee table with volleyball-shaped confetti they'd never get rid of entirely. They held a conversation animatedly through the open kitchen and living room while setting everything up for Tobi's birthday. Tsukishima smiled as he saw it and swiftly placed the groceries on the counter, mindful not to knock over the Brazilian cornstarch cookies Hinata had placed there to cool a bit. Did you get everything? Yes. When are the guests coming? Around 2, so in about 1.5 hours. Also, he said they'd be a bit late because they got lost on the way. Noya travels all the time. How did they get lost? Yamaguchi shrugged his shoulders and proceeded to place the presents they had gotten for Kageyama on the now decorated coffee table, where Hinata pushed the cake into the oven and began licking the spoon with the remaining batter on it clean with a wide grin. Tsukishima was quick to put everything away that had to be cooled in the fridge before taking inventory and checking their to-do list. Alright, so did you tell him to wait upstairs or distract him when he came back from his run? I mean, it's not exactly a surprise party, yet... He trailed off as his question was met with a stunned silence. They looked at each other, confused, as suddenly realization dawned on them. None of you know where Tobi is? Yamaguchi shook his head, slowly looking to Tsukishima for help, but the blonde appeared just as clueless. You don't know either? Hinata shook his head as well, a nervous smile playing on his lips that slowly began to waver. I just assumed he was on his morning run as always. I was so caught up in everything, I didn't even realize he wasn't back yet. Tsukishima rubbed over his eyes, trying to clear his head. He replayed the whole morning in his mind, only now realizing that not once throughout it had he seen or heard from the setter. Alright, I'll see and try if I can call him. Maybe he visited his grandpa's grave. I'm sure he'd miss him today. Sadness crossed over Hinata's face at that, and he nodded thoughtfully. They have been with him a couple of times to pay their respects, and the swagger always silently thanks him for everything he'd done for Tobio. It was evident that even after all this time, Kageyama still missed him a lot. You two just proceed with the preparations. I'll figure this out. Come on, Toru. He'll be happy to see you, I'm sure of it. Suga nudged the other in his side gently. He looked about as comfortable as a fish on land. He knew he felt conflicted about this, but the carefully put together present in his hand proved that he wasn't opposed to it entirely. There was part of him that hoped Kageyama would accept and like the present, even given the shared history. Iwaizumi nudged him encouragingly, and together they took an arm of Toru each and dragged him forward with Daichi in tow. The door, to their surprise, was opened by none other than Kuro, who looked a bit too amused. Come in, come in. The chaos is golden, the entertainment even better. Confused, they followed him inside, only to find Hinata, Tsukishima, Yamaguchi, and Bokuto huddled up with serious expressions, as if in a war meeting strategizing. Kemma was off to the side playing on a Switch, while Akashi occasionally threw in a helpful comment. The whole room was decked in party decorations, mostly volleyball themed, and a cake and snacks were prepared on the kitchen counter. Only noticeably, the birthday person was missing. Jeez, did we miss a memo? Where's Tobio? Kuro laughed, watching as his boyfriend, Bokuto, stared concentrated on a list of possible places the setter could be, trying to figure out which was the most likely. See, that's the fun part. They don't know. What do you mean, they don't know? They have no idea. It's kind of hilarious to think about if you ask me. How do you manage to lose the person you're trying to celebrate? He chuckled again while the four newcomers watched the scene in stunned surprise. Only shaken from the stupor when behind them the doorbell rang anew. This time, Hinata jumped up in hopes it was Kageyama. And, well, it was. Just the wrong one. Miwa stared at the chaos, equally incredulously, searching the crowd for a brother but coming up empty-handed. Still, Hinata cried out and leaned on her with an exaggerated desperation. Miwa-san! We can't find Tobio! Help us! She looked at the smallest stunned before bursting out in laughter and offering a soothing head pet to her future brother-in-law. Did you forget again? Ah, Tobio. Forget? If you don't explicitly remind him that it's his birthday, he'd be the last to think about it. Where have you searched already? What would he do this time on a normal day? Shoyo gasped, and Suga barely managed to distinguish the word gym before the red-haired already sprinted off, put on his shoes, and was gone in a heartbeat. So, you did all this for my cute idiot of a brother. How sweet of you. She came inside and placed a present with the others. The tension in the room seemed to slowly relax a little, and Kuro was quick to sweep up in a conversation, retelling the whole drama since he and his boyfriends had arrived here. I'm not sure those two are a good combination. Looks like a catastrophe in the making, and mostly for those around them. You mean like you and Atsumu? Or you when leaving you with Koshi out of sight for too long. Both Aikawa and Suga gave a mock gasp of surprised offense, and demonstratively turned away from their partners to find other company. Suga was quick to join Akashi and Kemma in a corner, while Aikawa went to sit down next to Yamaguchi, who seemed now very sheepish, if still a little anxious about the whole thing. Hinata fought for air when arriving at the gym and saw Kageyama just leaving, packing up his stuff while staring at his phone confused, only now seeing the onflood of messages they had sent him. Shoyo, is everything...
You, with me, now.
He grabbed him by the wrist and, much to this other's surprise, began just dragging him down the street. Perplexed, he followed the spiker while trying to figure out what was happening. He didn't look hurt, or worried in the sense that would mean one of the others was. Why didn't you come to practice? Usually, Hinata always joined him in the gym on Sundays, but now he just let out an exasperated laugh and instead of answering, fastened his steps. He was about to dig in his heels and demand an answer when he recognized the way home. In the driveway and on the street parked way more cars than usual, and he frowned. He opened his mouth to ask, but Hinata shook his head, still out of breath, and nudged him towards the door.
Just go inside.
Shoyo, I don't know what's going on, He was ignored as Hinata pushed him into the Genkan. They started to bicker, but the Jinja still denied him any answers, and suddenly Kageyama's protest died on his tongue as he was greeted by a room with everyone he considered family. His sister stepped forward first, the stupid grin on her face as she handed him a paper bag with a bow on it and pressed a kiss to his hair. Happy birthday, little brother. One by one, congratulations reached him, and he felt his face growing redder by the second. His eyes wandered around the room, halting at the volleyball confetti, blueberry cake with his name on it, and more gifts being pressed into his arms. He was overwhelmed, but for once he didn't hate the feeling. And as he felt the first year fell, he gave them a soft smile, embracing the crow plushie Sugawara had gifted him for old time's sake. Happy birthday, Kageyama. And thank you everyone for watching to the end. It truly means a lot to me. I really hope you enjoyed this little birthday special. We have to appreciate Kageyama, okay? We have to. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And yeah, tell me in the comments what you thought. I love the idea of him being so caught up in his routines that he forgets that it's supposed to be a special day, and everyone else being so caught up in the fact that it's a special day that they don't notice that he's not there at first. So yeah, tell me if you liked this idea. As I said, it was mostly fluff, just like you requested, but like with a bit of spice, hurt, comfort, if you can even call it that, in there. Yes. Thank you so much for my nerdy Nekos. They help this channel out a whole lot, and they get early access whenever I can provide it. This one they got a day in advance, but other videos they get up to weeks into advance. So yeah, it was a bit rushed, I will admit that. Yeah, check out other videos right here. There will be another one tomorrow because we have Polish holidays, and another one after this one. Right after this one, there will be a supercut. I hope you will like it. Have a great day.
Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day.